Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a greenhouse tour. So I've had quite a few people actually ask me to do a greenhouse tour, and I definitely agree that one's definitely overdue. I didn't do one for the last month because I was too busy to do one and I went away on holiday. So it's now September and I can finally do a greenhouse tour. Everything's now back in its place. I've organised it how I like it. So yeah, there's a lot to show. It's a good month's worth. Everything now is slowing down for dormancy, so the weather's getting colder. I've got shorter days, so everything soon will not look like this. So eventually, again, the display next to me will just be empty pots, so you probably won't see anything. But yeah, so the flowers are going to be ready to harvest very soon. This is my first one, which I'll show you in more detail in a minute. That has gone brown. Most of them are still very green, but this one especially has gone quite dark, so hopefully I'll be able to harvest from these seeds very soon. But yeah, I think I'm just going to stick into it because I've got a lot to show, so I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this video. So as always, I'm going to start over this side where my tallest specimens of Sarracenia are. So I always have 5 Sarracenias on here. This was initially because of the Adrian stack got too big, so I put it over this side along with a few other taller ones that was touching the roof of the greenhouse. But now I kind of like organised it into like my top 5 favourites, so I might jiggle them around, especially next year when they all grow to different heights. But I have got my Lindabutt here, so this is its newly opened trap, which is looking lovely. It's a lot bigger than the others, so these are the other ones it's been producing all year, which obviously have got the amazing colour. I really like this Morii cross. It's just such a nice deep purple colour. So I'm hoping that this one will start getting its colour soon. The flower on the Lindabutt as well is the one that has developed or gone the furthest. So this one is almost all brown now. So these seeds will hopefully be ready, I'm hoping, in a couple of weeks time. I did these a good 3-4 months ago. They say about 3 months and they're ready about in August, but it's September now and obviously they still haven't finished, or they're not ready yet, but when they are I'm hoping I'll get loads of seeds from them. So this is my Leucophila pubescent form. So it's got lovely pictures, got loads of pictures this year. And obviously the little one, which is a little division. I'm hoping to take this division in the winter. So this is the rhizome down here, and it's got like an additional part to the rhizome over there, which I'll divide and cut up to produce 2 of these because I really like this one. My Rubicorpora did have 2 pictures on, but I've had to cut one off because it kind of, one of the bugs got in there and it kind of opened it all up and it started going a bit rotten. So it's only just got this one, but the colour that it's producing now, just look at that, it's just so amazing. It's like almost dark black in the middle to like a really nice burgundy. And then obviously my Adrian Stacks Maxima, which is my tallest Sarracenia specimen, which is here, which again hopefully next year will be even taller. So this was 63 centimetres, it was top height this year. I'm hoping even that I'd get a flower off it next year. So even with this Rubicorpora, I'd love a flower off of it next year. So yeah, this is the flower off the Leucophila, and as you can see, like, this one is still green. It's going a little bit brown, but it's still not ready yet. And then at the back here is my newest, well, one of my newest Leucophilas, which is the Sarracenia Leucophila Schnell's Ghost. So I've put this one at the back here because it is one of my favourites, and I do really like this one. So moving on to this side where most of my plants are, as you can see from the get-go, all my Sarracenias are just bundled together. So they're starting to, all these are starting to slow down, so a lot of them have got this, where obviously the insects have got to about this height, and now they're starting to rot away, so eventually I will have to start cutting all these pictures down. A couple of them have already been cut down, it's a shame. This is my Alata Black tube, and it had some really, really nice, like, dark pictures, which were lovely. Which unfortunately I don't have any pictures of, but luckily it does have one more picture, which I'm hoping that, and it's a lot taller as well because it's about the size it's been producing. But yeah, so it's got this final one here, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to, when it opens, it will also produce that nice dark colours, especially as it's autumn winter now. They produce, the last tracks they produced are really nice. They have the nice dark colour. So when this opens, hopefully it'll have the same dark black colour that these two did. So I'm really happy with that one. But if I just move on, I'll move to this side and then go across. So this is my Sarracenia Joanna. I really like this one. It's one of my favourite Morino crosses that I've currently got in my collection, just again because of the colour. It's similar to the Linda Butt, and that's why I like that colour, because I just really like this dark, like burgundy maroon colour that they produce. So the newer pictures are kind of like that, they're a bit lighter, and then they develop the colour at the back. So unfortunately all the pictures at the moment are starting to fall over. It just happens at this time of year, obviously as they get older. So that's why they're all kind of like looking like they're sitting on top of each other, practically because they are. So it's still a lovely display though. The colour that I have obviously got in here with all the different Sarracenias are just amazing. So this is my newest one. I don't know if it's actually appeared in any of my other videos. It is a Sarracenia Flava Ornata across the Brooks Hybrid Orange. So I do have a Brooks Hybrid, which is just the common Brooks Hybrid, which again looks like this. That's a better one. Newest picture in that one. But there's the orange clone Brooks Hybrid, which I don't own, but I brought this across just because, again, I really like the especially Flavas, which have this nice colour. So as you can see, it's got this really nice green picture, and then a really nice red top. So I really like that one. It really stands out in the collection. So nice two contrasts here. So this is my Sarracenia Flava Maxima. Quite a young specimen at the moment, but again just an all green form, so no veining, no like deep veining or of any colour. It's just all green, and it sits beautifully next to my Sarracenia Atropurpurea. So this is a Blackwater, Florida. So again, all red Sarracenia, and it's amazing because it's got like this little, it's like a greeny yellow fleck on top of its lid, and the rest of it's all black. Well, not black, I mean like again the maroon burgundy, which again in the autumn winter has almost got a really nice dark picture to make it look almost like a deep dark red. So again, this one kind of works nicely within the collection. I said I wanted a splash of white with my new Leucophilas that I brought, and that's exactly what I got. So this is my Sarracenia Leucophila Heterophylla. So I really love the shape of this one. Unfortunately it's only a tiny specimen, the rhizome again was tiny, but I just love this one. It's all green and white, so I'll have no pink on it, but I just love the shape and the colour. It just stands out. Like the white is so pure and like a really nice fresh white, and that's what I really like about that one. So I've got a couple of Wisley ones at the back, which this one was on the other side of my tall ones, so it is a bit too tall for this side, but as they're unknown hybrids I didn't really want them on that side. And as well as that, they're also flowering again, so wrong time of year. So this one has already flowered once, that's the flower of that one, but I've kind of let them flower. So the other one as well, I don't know if you've had to see it, but you can see it just through there, of another Wisley one that I got, another unknown hybrid, again are flowering. I've just let them flower for now, so it's the wrong time of year, but because I'm not really that fussed about them, I'm just letting them do their thing at the moment. I will probably cut it off, it probably won't even get as far as a flower, but I'm kind of just seeing whatever they'll do. So yeah, that's mainly the most interesting Sarracenia that I've got on this side at the moment. Like, I do have some more, like, again, another one of my favourites is the Sarracenia Aureophylla Sand Mountain, but as you can see it's just not too impressive at the moment. They are just going to look a bit sad for themselves at the moment, but again the colour is lovely on that one. I'll talk about this one here. So this, these ones I've grown from seed. This is my Sarracenia Leucophila cross Morii. So I've got about 85 of these. These I sowed from seed. I think they're a year and a bit old now. Sowed them in February last year. And this is my tallest one. It's always been in its own pot, and that's probably why it's the tallest. This one I experimented on as a seed. It was one that just didn't get the stratification, so it didn't go for a cold period before sowing the seed, and it still came up, and it's just looking lovely. So I really like the colour of this one. It's got its own little kind of like characteristics to it, so I'm hoping it will turn into something nice. I just don't think I'd ever part with this one. Eventually obviously we'll get rid of them. I'm waiting for them to show like their traits, so the other ones I've got underneath my bench, I'll wait until they show their traits and decide what I'll do with them there, but I like this one, it's quite sweet. So moving on, we've got the these are my young purpurias. So when I brought, this is the original one, when I brought my purpurea, it had several little divisions in it which I divided, and this time of year I love the purpureas. During the rest of the year they kind of are like a light red colour, but this kind of year you can really see the distinctiveness between the new and the older pictures. So this is a newly opened one which has a nice like green colour in it, and eventually they turn to this really nice dark deep red, especially with the amount of sunlight that I get. It's just a wonderful contrast. Like I really like them. Even the young ones are doing it. It's just a shame they're not bigger. I would like, obviously I'm hoping next year again that they'll get double in size, but this is just amazing at the moment. Like I really like it. My cephalosis has grown. It's currently a mountain or a hill. So again, this time of year my cephalosis has produced so many new pictures which are here. Again, it has got the amazing colour it did last year, which is again the nice deep, almost black kind of picture. This is just your common cephalosis, so it's no cultivar, no nothing, but it is again just amazing colour. I really like the shape and how this has just turned out. So I did put it in this 1 litre pot, and since then it has filled out the pot really nicely. So moving on to fly traps, so I've got my, this is again, I don't know if I think I've ever shown it in videos before. This is my Venus flytrap. This is Bristletooth. So this was a gift from a friend, and it's amazing. Like the colour inside is definitely one of my favourites at the moment. It's just because of this really nice deep red colour that complements the really nice like green edging with obviously the fine teeth. These ones divide really easily from the rhizome, so it's really good to get loads of like propagation material from these as well. So I've got some small ones in here as well, which even the small ones have divided. And another one there. So this is one of my newer fly traps, which is my red dragon. At the moment it's not really a red dragon, it's more of a green dragon. It just needs a bit more light to kind of help it. It's looking a bit struggling at the moment, but I think just because again it's been repotted and they don't really like it repotting at the wrong time of year, they do struggle a bit, I found. So I think next year it'll be like a really nice display, but for now it's a green dragon. But in here as well there is just some Capensis, but I think this is the Capensis alba, which I don't have in my collection. I'm hoping that it is that, because sometimes my seedlings turn out white and then get colour, but I am quite confident that these are the Drosera Capensis alba, and if they are, then even though it's another weed, which I think I will live to regret saying this, but I'm happy to have that at the moment as a weed that has come up, because it'll be a nice one I guess to cross with. I do like crossing my Drosera, and it's just a nice one to have in your collection if you don't have it already. So I'm going to say that now, and watch me in a couple of months regret everything I've just said. So my ultimate favourite, which I will always say is my favourite of the flytrap cultivars, is my Phalanx. So this is the first ever flytrap cultivar that I got, and nothing has been able to beat it since. The lashes on this are absolutely amazing. Like, I don't even know how to describe how beautiful this is. Like, it's just, it's not anything wacky like all the other cultivars. It's just your, you know, it's just a normal flytrap, but with these amazing long lashes, and that is outstanding. Like the colour they get on the lashes as well, the pink that turns into the white, is just stunning. I I can't even say, like, it's just amazing. Like, I don't know how weird it is to get this like happy about a plant, but I love this one. And again, it's got a little baby that's divided from the rhizome. I'm so happy. I can't wait to divide that in winter as well, so I can get more of this one. But yeah, absolutely favourite of that one, and you can probably see why. Just alone, that display is amazing. Got my dentate at the back, which I think looks a little bit like the dentee. If you look at the dentate and the dentee, they have very different teeth, obviously because they're different cultivars, but I really think, I don't know, it looks more like a dentee. It might just be because like it's a newer one, so I haven't had it this long. I did repot it, hasn't grown as much as I would have thought, but I'm not really sure. I'm guessing I'll see how it turns out, but it could still be the dentate. That's what it came out. If not, I'll just have to class it as a typical, obviously if I'm unsure what it is. But this is my cup traps. Again, all of my fly traps this time of year are producing so many little babies from the base where the rhizome is, and my cup trap's got loads, and I love this cup trap. It's only small again. This was my birthday present, and I just think it's so cute. Like, look at those little traps. Beastie Boy. So this is my largest, I'd say, trapped cultivar. My fingers are quite small, so it's not really a good size guide, but it is just a really nice, and I like the colour as well. I really do like the red inside the traps, and I think that is just really nice, which I say to a lot of them, but it is. It's the size as well that just complements it, so it kind of towers over everything if you compare it to this one here, which is a mega traps. So even the mega traps obviously hasn't really got that big of a trap compared to this Beastie Boy. Got my Darwin at the back, which again is another cultivar that has large traps, but this year it hasn't grown that much. It's again just a young one. My green sawtooth, another one that I really like just because all green forms, I think they just stand out. Like my red piranha complements the green sawtooth at the front here, because obviously you got the all red with the amazing like piranha teeth, and my green sawtooth, which is just really nice to look next to. This is my yellow fused tooth, which I don't really talk about much because it's not really anything to, I guess, behold. It's still got a really nice like yellow colour, but it obviously hasn't fused. So this cultivar doesn't, I don't think I've ever seen one that has actually fused, that lives up to its name. It's, you know, quite unstable. So it's a yellow fused tooth, but it doesn't have the fused teeth. It is just more of a yellow colour, where this is my fused tooth. So I think this is more like an extreme fused tooth compared to your casual fused tooth, because the teeth on these fuse all the way across, so it looks a bit messy. I'm not really, I guess, a massive fan of this one. It's a bit too much in my opinion, but I've still got it in the collection, so I really like, I guess, it's different. Like, I can't say I like it like a great deal, but I don't think I'd get rid of it because it is just in the collection. It just, I guess, is something different to look at. So I'll move on to the Drosera that I've got at the moment. So I've got loads of rotundifolia coming up in all my pots anyway. They came up as like weeds, which is great again because I didn't have any in my collection, so I didn't buy these. These came up as weeds in like orders, like plant orders, which I love it when that happens. I did buy these though. This is my Drosera anglica. My main one is here, which has now gone into dormancy. It's produced this resting bud, which is a winter hibernacula, and it will stay like that until the weather warms up next year. So I've done it a bit early, but even the rotundifolia are doing it, so you can see here it's starting to produce the clustered bud. So is my filiformis. So this is my original filiformis. It has now gone completely, how I would say, dormant. This one did rot off. I don't think this bit will come back, but this bit here will. So it produces like this fuzz, and it will stay like that until next year now. Whereas this one, which is exactly, well, meant to be exactly the same, is still going, still got loads of nice dew and leaves on it, but it has produced the beginning of its hibernacula, so that they'll produce this fluffy resting bud, and eventually then it will lose its leaves. But this one kind of loses its leaves, then produces its winter resting bud, which I've never understood, but I guess that's how it works. So this is my common Banata, which has got quite big. I really like that one. It's a nice easy one to propagate as well, this Banata. They're very easy to care for as a beginner plant. My Spatulata at the back have been kind of shrouded by bigger plants, so they're not getting access to quite a lot of sunlight, but they're still there. And that's mainly it. On the side, obviously, I've got my Pinguicula bisculata, which is again being shrouded by everything else, with that nice purple flower, which is quite hard to see, like that. And eventually that will lose its flower and die down. But it's obviously, these are its leaves, so the Pinguicula have these leaves which spread, and then the flower will obviously come up next year. But that's everything in the main tray of the greenhouse. Over here I have got my well, like bog planters that I make up, so my decorative bog planters. And as you all know, my favourite one, which is my first one I ever made, is this bunny bog planter. I think it's purely just because of the colour and the display that this produces every year. So these are just typicals. I have had so many people ask me what kind of flytrap cultivars I've got in here, and they are literally just typicals, but they have just the most stunning like colour. Like, so they've got all like burgundy inside with like even like a dark purple rim, with the green exterior with the red strip line. They're usually upright petioles as well, which is due to the sun. But if I just show you, so this is just a pot of typicals, exactly the same conditions, I'd say about the same age and everything. These were my flytrap rescues, but every single typical that I've had has always looked just like this, maybe with a little bit more pink in the mouth, but I've never had any typical flytrap that has looked anything as amazing as this. So I have considered like maybe naming it as a cultivar, but probably not. But it is just that this is my favourite, like I guess flytrap. These are my 6-7 year old ones. These are the first ones that I started off with, and they just sit in here and just basically make my greenhouse stand out, because this is just like the display. Again, like even the Capensis that is in here that just came up as like a weed, I've let everything in here become as natural as possible. So even this heather I kept in here, which produced a really nice colourful display this year. It's a bit dying off a bit now though, I'll cut it down soon. Even the bunny has like disappeared now. But this is my favourite bog planter, and just look at all the divisions of the flytraps that I've got in here as well. Unfortunately, this one, still this little seedling down here, hasn't got much bigger. I'm going to have to pull these up though, that's the only thing in winter. I'm going to have to disturb the moss. The rhizome's getting a little bit too deep for my liking because they've been in here for so long. So I'm going to probably elevate them, and obviously to do that I'm going to have to push them up a bit. So I'm going to have to break the moss, but it'll still look nice hopefully over winter. When they come back, they'll also have established the moss back around them. Second bog plant that I've got is my sundew cottage. So there's a little cottage on the hill with all my sundews around. Highlight of this one is the seed corner because it's adorable. It is just consisting, like as they've all come up, I've got some Capensis, some Aliciae, and some type of Banata in there as well, which I'm guessing are all just common forms that I've got coming up. But still, like, this was such a tiny corner, and then they've all come up now. They've it's kind of lost. It's a little garden, so I had all these stones around it to mark where it ended, but they've kind of lost that now. It's been eaten by moss as the moss is spread. So this time of year the moss will spread in the pots, and it's quite nice. You know, it's just if I've got any left over, I put it in other pots, so it just makes a nice cover. So I've got my little Pygmy sundews here, and other ones at the back, which you can see here, and obviously the fern. So this is my Drosera regia. I didn't include it in my Drosera collection video that I did a week ago because I didn't have it here. It was being looked after while I was on holiday, and now it's back. As you can see, it's still looking amazing at this time of year, considering all my other Drosera are slowing down. the leaves are huge. It's always so hard to take like a really nice picture of this one. Unless you see it in person, it's quite hard to see. So it's always looking a bit, I guess, scruffy, messy. It's really big though. But this, I just love this one so much. I would never be able to not have this in my collection. So for this, I ever lost this one, then I would definitely have to go out and get another one. So this, the dew on this is, I think this is the most stickiest Drosera I've ever had, besides the filiformis. It's just such a lethal looking plant as well, but it's so beautiful at the same time. So this would be the second year that I've owned this one, and last year I kept it inside for its, well, instead of putting it into like a dormancy, because they don't really go dormant, they'll die down to the roots and come back. And I was quite fearful of that because of how much I value this plant. But this year I am going to let the king stay out here, and I am just hoping that it will come back within the following year. But you can see why they call it the king sundew, just because it looks like a crown of, well, crown of beauty really. It's just amazing, like the dew and everything, like just look at all that. So now I'll move on to the sundew like corner, this side of the bench that I've got. So Pygmy sundews first, and this is the absolute beautiful Drocera scorpioides, which is my favourite Pygmy sundew. So this is, again, I think the second year that I've had these ones, and I really love the scorpioides. I really like, I think they're called the shaggy sundew, and you can see what they're quite messy, like they come up, and also there's their dead leaves underneath. But it is just the fact that they're just so beautiful. If you look at them on this angle, just look at the dew that sparkles on them. It's just so nice with their long tentacles as well that they've got on their leaves, but they're obviously small, and that just makes it even better. But I've got 2 pots of that. It'll soon be time for them to produce gamiae, so again I will take the next generation from them and sow them again. This is my Drosera Aliciae giant form, which is amazing, the most dewy Aliciaes that I've got, but they do need repotting because they've been put in this tiny pot and they've grown amazingly. So I've got a couple of other Pygmy sundews in here, but they're not as impressive because they're kind of like a bit slower, dying down a bit more. The most impressive Pygmy sundews that I've got are the ones that I put in this planter. So this one is like some sundews spilling out of this pot here. So it's like a sugar pot or a milk jar, and they've all spilled out here, and they've done the best out of all my like Pygmy sundews out of pots, besides the scorpioides. So they've all flowered. This was obviously the one that flowered all together, and they looked amazing. And now they're all starting to, well, they'll lose their obviously dew leaves, and then they'll eventually produce their gamiae. So the Rosanna has died down first, but this Pulchella cross has still got all their dew on, and still a couple of flowers. So I kept flowers on of a couple of them that still have some more to go. This is just my Drosera Aliciae, the common one, so it's not the giant form. Got loads of Capensis, as always, in here. And this big boy is my monster of a Drosera Binata Dictamata. So I showed this one in my Drosera collection, and it was just huge. And as you can see, it's very hard to just capture it all in one kind of shot. But this is basically how my Drosera are looking at this time, so they're still looking really nice. Even these ones that, obviously these ones will also die down into nothing, and I'll be able to divide them up some more. So under here is the majority of my Sarracenia Cross Morii seedlings that I grew from seed. So as you can see, they have got really nice, a lot of them are starting to get their colour now. So they've got really nice traps. There's some of them getting really tall. There's obviously some odd ones that I haven't done as well. But these ones I did some experimenting on. So in tray 1 I did a foliar feed every week. Tray 2 was the Osmokai high nitrogen pellets. And then this third one was a control, so it got no treatment. As you can see, well, I finished the trial 3 weeks ago, but as you can see, most of them have returned to all the kind of same size. But while I was doing the experiment, I would say tray 2 had the most prominent colour, so most of them had colour, where tray 1 had more pictures being produced. So you can still kind of see some traits of that. As you can see, tray 2's got a lot of white markings, and then tray 3 just produced like your normal pictures, but strangely some of them did produce really tall ones. So I'll have to look back on all the experiments that I did and see what noticeable differences I had. But I think I want to do a separate video on that and hopefully talk about it a bit more, showing what kind of stuff I use for the experiments and about the foliar feeding of these. And then obviously this is just my oddity tray, so I've got some more typicals in here, with some capensis and some odd like temperate sundews as well. So finally I think I'll show this side of the greenhouse. So this is more like my oddity side, just random bits and bobs. So I've got some more divisions of that Drosera verdictomata, another unknown flava hybrid which I brought, which has slowly got a bit bigger. It was very tiny at the beginning of the year, but again it's not really like a favourite or anything, it's just as it is. So I've got my Uticularia Sarracenia, I think it's called, which is like it's got little bunny ears, so it's a nice adorable little Uticularia. Spreads like crazy though. I've got about 4 pots of it, so there's another pot of it there. Got some odd sundews in those as well. So as I wasn't here to harvest or to cut off the flower stalks, I have noticed that a load of capensis and spatulatas started coming up in my pots, which is going to be really fun for me next year when they all start coming up as well in big masses, but that's what I get. So I did some flower stalk cuttings in a video a few months back, and unfortunately none of my cultivar ones I did in the video survived, but my typical ones did. I do have some more, but as I'm here I have to be difficult. So this is one that I took from these. So these were my rescues, which I showed you a second ago, and they had a flower stalk, but I chopped it off because they weren't looking that great, but they're still looking amazing now. And this I just stuck in the middle of the pot with them because of obviously how small they were. And as you can see, right there is a little fly trap starting to form. So you can see the cutting is still green. I took this months ago, this was way before I did the video on the cultivars, but it's still green and a little fly trap in the bottom. So that's what you're kind of looking for out of your flower stalk cutting, you know, propagation. But it's unfortunate none of my cultivars worked this year, but that's probably down to me because I wasn't really here to look after them properly. So this is some more. These were the flower stalk cuttings I took last year of my bunny bog typicals. So if I just spin round and show you, as you can see, they have got the same really nice dark colour in the traps. So you can kind of see that it's like a different type to a normal typical. So obviously my normal typicals look like that, and my bunny bog typicals look like that, which are completely different, but at the end of the day they are still typicals because they are not a cultivar, unless obviously I name it as such. So I've got some, unfortunately I've had slugs in here as well. Since being away, all the insects have decided to take over my greenhouse, which I'm now battling with them once again. But yeah, so these are our red sawtooth cross like fine teeth fly traps, which they're just tiny, there's only 2 of them in there. I'll move on to the pings in a second. I'll just show you this. This is the, like, I haven't named this one yet, I usually name my planters, but at the moment I'm just going to call it the bird bog, which sounds a bit weird, so maybe like the bird bath. So everything in here that I put in here has started establishing quite nicely. The fly trap's gone a little bit slower and unfortunately doesn't have its colour anymore because it's just trying to catch up. But the sundews I put in here are starting to get all their dew back. But I put some of that heather, because I keep having it come up in all my pots as a weed. I put some to train up this trellis to make it look a little bit more, I guess, lifelike, but lively. I could always cut it, you know, as it grows I'll cut it down to make it like cover this, and I think it'll look really nice as it establishes. So the capensis looks nice, and even some Uticularia biscumata I put in here. As you see, it started spreading out, so hopefully it'll cover all the back here and like pop up. So next year I think it'll look really nice after it's established some more. So I've got some sphagnum moss growing here. So as you can see, it's the best part of it has grown up the sides, but haven't really grown as quick as I'd like it to. But as you can see, look, even I've got ferns growing in that as well. I have ferns and heathers at the moment that grow up in my pots everywhere. Oh look, talking of heathers, there's another one there. Oh, and obviously Eucapensis as well. So it's look now like a sphagnum moss with weeds. But got some more Capensis here. My Pinguicula grandiflora seedling, so I grew these ones from seed, are looking lovely. They're so small, but they're just such a nice green colour. There's a bigger one at the back there, which I did from a gamia over the winter. Some more just odds and ends of fly traps, which are again typicals. More Bonata. So these are my false, not false widow, I keep saying false widow because I've got so many of these in my greenhouse. But these are my black widow cross Sarracenia, like in the last black tube cross like a black widow form. Got to get these out of the way. As you can see, they've got quite a nice colour on them, but they're really nice. Along with these Leucophila cross Moria seeds, there's some more in this pot as well, but they haven't grown as much because they're all stuffed in one pot. But yeah, so this is just the odds and ends of this side of the greenhouse. So I quickly came over here and moved the pings to this side, or the Pinguicula as we'd like to say, just because I wanted to show you how much they sparkle in the sun. So I never keep them in the sunlight because they prefer the indirect bright sunlight, but I just thought because you know, the sunlight makes them sparkle, I'll do, you know, this. So this is my Weezer. I've got a couple of Weezer or Weezer, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But this was my original one, and as you can see, they've got nice pink colours. The colours starting to come back. These I had to put inside while I was away, so they didn't get much light and they went a bit leggy. But they're slowly starting to form their clustered growth again and get their colour back. As you can see, it's a really nice pink colour, along with this one, which is also getting the same. This one is just a Pinguicula Tina. So another common variety. I've got my main Tina is in my propagator indoors. It's got like 5 or 6 growth points now. After it flowered, it just divided like crazy. But I haven't put it out here this year. I'm not really sure why. This is a small one which I guess got quite recently, which is a Pinguicula Sarracenia, I think it's pronounced. Which is another pink one, and it looked amazing before I went away, but it went a bit leggy. So it's starting to get back. You can see the pink tinges again in its leaf. But I just have to wait a while. They get their colour in this time of year anyway, so I haven't really missed out on much. And then these are some leaf pullings that I did. These are all Weezers, and as you can see, they're really sweet, just little ones. And my newest one, which was my Pinguicula Cyclosector, however it's pronounced, and it's the it's got like bluey purple leaves in the winter. Well, I say winter, like later in the year, and at the moment, as you can see, they've just got the purple tinges around the outside, but hopefully it'll soon start to colour up like the other ones, and it will be really, really nice. But that's what I've got of my pings outside in the greenhouse at the moment. Okay, so that is everything that I've currently got to show in the greenhouse. I've practically shown you everything that I've got in here, minus the stuff that I've got like double of. So I would say this is probably the longest video that I've done. So I'm hoping that people enjoy that, because I like looking back on everything I've got in the greenhouse, especially after being away for a while. And it's really nice to know as well that people look forward to the greenhouse updates and tours. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.